hopefully, because it didn't work last time, it'll actually run this time correctly.
All right.
He says, looking concerned. Yes, I have a green flashing light. There we go. Perfect. So I'll move me out of the way. Okay, so basically we had lots of valuable feedback, and I'm wondering where this feedback may have come from. I've got an idea. We only had one piece from our last connections, so people are interested in Broad Apprenticeship Day. We can see that everybody is liking to access the tools regularly and is keeping up to date. And we're getting a connection with Guatemala, so that's network to network, so trying to share something there. So that's relatively useful.
Okay.
We've got 2 new networks which will be joining during the year, and are interested in participating in the campaign. So because of when they're going to be starting, we've given them some dates towards the end of the year. So it's quite exciting. Get some more people moving along. For our key dates, in a week and a half's time is our launch day. We did originally think of having a webinar on the 3rd, but I'm not sure if we actually need this. If somebody wants to have a webinar specifically for final questions, what they need to do, etc., if it's not been clear, then we can organize it. But yeah, otherwise we can miss that one out and then have a regroup is what we thought on the 10th of December. So this is after the parties and launch event have actually happened, how well it went, what things went well, what didn't work for you, what sort of uptake there'd been locally, if anything, and to share our sort of success from making the first splash on this. So are you actually still working on the 10th?
No, actually.
Yeah, it's the 7th, so yeah, okay. Because it hasn't been scheduled yet, maybe we can move it to the 7th, or you can just, before you go, if you could just send me some numbers or whatever you've tracked from your side, then we can keep it on the 10th and put it in the recording for later.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll try and get that to you.
Yeah, because I don't want to get involved in the middle of your holiday. You've already done that for us once, so that's too much of it. Fair enough. So with our fantastic groups, which you're still starring in here, who's doing really good things. We also had our board meeting for the GAN in the 12th of November, which is why.
Prochain arrêt, Romont. Les voyageurs.
Hello, regular. So with the board meeting, we actually met physically with some of the member representatives and the focal points there, and they've come back and they like what we're doing with their campaign. They want to be more involved, so we've got some definite traction happening with these people, which we're following up directly with them to see how much more they can do for our campaign. YCI are listed here. They are going to be an alliance partner for the campaign, and they're interested and got quite a few things happening in different locations. Unfortunately, Namibia is not one of them, so I can't get them to reach out to you. But they work with apprenticeships in the hospitality and hotel industry, and they do have them in quite a few places, but Namibia isn't on their list at the moment.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
It's okay.
So we've got a lot of our standard stuff here that we know what we're doing, what type of things we can actually work on. As we've been rushing around doing a few things, we haven't really moved on any further with the clinics, but the idea is solid with the plan that we've got for what the Secretariat will be doing next year. So we've still got to work out the details of these other 6 that we had discussed last time. So did you see at all the video that we did for the afternoon sessions about this last time, Bella?
I did have a look at it.
Okay.
Just not too much in detail, though.
Sure. So the idea with all of these different inspirations that we've come up with so far, we've thought as to how these can work, what people would need to know, how they can put things together to give us a bit more of a sort of guide. So it's not exactly steps to follow, but it's key things you need to think, and then what its sort of business value and its outcome will be for the people receiving it. So we've got some working ideas on those. 10 of them have been written down quite well. The others are still in a thinking process. And the idea would be moving, once we've gone past the launch and kicked off the campaign, then we will be running regular webinars to cover each of these different areas at different times, so that the networks and the members which are using these have got a consistent way of actually providing the ambassador group or a newsletter, so that we actually generate more traction in the campaign.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've got some things. There's some cross links between some of them because of the types of things you can do. So where we have visits happening to places, then this can also spill into creating a bit of video, and we can do photo galleries, etc. So there's that sort of matrix is in here as well. So the alignment of what we can really do, and just reminding people, because when you're busy doing your stuff, then you're doing it, you haven't seen, sometimes you lose track of what the big picture is and where else we might be able to use it and generate some value from.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Okay.
So that was the general idea of where we've got to with that. So there wasn't anything new, because we've been doing all these meetings and stuff recently to get our house in order. So the only other thing we've pushed a bit forwards is our GAN family idea. So we have created a group on Facebook, as we said we would do. We've got some things organised now to actually start sending out, getting people to join the GAN family group so we can use them as our influencers. And one of the first things we really wanted to push on there was that we're having our birthday and we're launching. So with some ideas that we've got, we thought, okay, we can explain a bit more what our birthday party is about. So we're going to have this collection of online parties, and we're going to have a physical party in our office for our staff with the people, the next staff that we've had that are still in the area. They can come and join in. We thought each of the networks can also do their own sort of party if they've got the time and the effort on the 5th. To participate, so people that have worked with you previously, people which are your member companies, if there are representatives of the global members in country as well, they can come along. You just all sort of celebrate 5 years of the GAN, being members together, use it as a networking event so that it sort of solidifies the group towards the end of the year, and people understand we're launching and doing something. For each of the network parties, we would like them to sort of connect into the main online parties as well, so that we can sort of build the network globally at the same time. And where we have countries which are on the same time zones, then we across the world, we're going to see if we can drone them together, so it's not just in a regional basis, it's local as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So because of where we're spread across the world, I've tried to organise this so we've got 3 or 4 of these sort of main online sessions during the day, so that different groups can fit in. So being sensible, trying to align this for the end of the day for most people is a better way of getting them to actually participate and not being a disturbance in the middle of their day. So from my understanding, a 4 o'clock sort of time on the 5th of December for you would be a good time to start participating in the party.
Pardon?
It would be a good time for you to participate in the party, like 4 till 5, and you can go home happy.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that would work.
Happy and enriched. That's what, a little bit of common sense here. It's like, if you're going to do this, you wouldn't run a party at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Exactly.
Yeah. We'll try as hard as possible. Unfortunately, when we start hitting the LATAM countries, it is going to be a bit more sort of lunchtime, but it's as close as I could get it, so we will see.
Yeah.
So with the parties, you will be getting an invitation to the online party, which will match with this sort of schedule as well, so that you know when, with the details, how to connect to that and what it's going to be. So either we will use a Facebook Live event, or we'll use Zoom, where we'll testing as to which one we actually prefer and which one works a bit better. But Zoom so far works quite well, but it keeps it inclusive to the people that have the link, whereas a Facebook one, we can even open it to make it a bit more open to everybody. So it's, we'll see if you've got a suggestion, or if others in the rest of the webinars today have a favorite, then we will go in that direction.
Yeah, I think Facebook would be nice though. I think, and then we can also just post it on our pages and say, hey, you can join us if you like,
Exactly. Come see what we've done, how we're working here. So with the idea of the online party would also is sort of like a remote connection, but it would be sort of something you do a bit more party-like in your own office as well, so that we're sort of extended how big our room is. So we thought with the social stuff, we can also publicize a little bit as to we're doing a party and we're happy with some of our key messages about what the GAN has done over the last 5 years. We've been encouraging each of the networks to sort of send best wishes to each other and things, and congratulations, that type of thing. So we're making a bit of a buzz. We want, if the members and partners can do an event as well, then great, they can join in. They can come along to your own local one. They might be able to host it, who knows. So it's all sorts of different options available. And then we want people to actually just really participate in the local party. So you and Tim, we want to see you happy and smiling and waving party flags around and stuff.
Okay, all right, that would work. And then we could maybe get our national flags, and we could be
exactly. Anything like that, just to give it a bit of a flair. It's a semi sort of Christmas party as well. It's that time of year, especially if you're closing on the 7th, then it's even better. So
Okay, so we can have like Christmas lights on and stuff, or like what are you thinking? What are you thinking in terms of visuals? Like, what should we be having, like I don't know, some kind of like party attire on or something, just to like
I wasn't thinking of a dress code, but that could be quite fun if you've got purples and greens that actually join together. So the GAN colours, that would be
that would be nice.
Why not? We could theme it like that. I thought, okay, I will drop that into the invitation as well. Dress code, purple and green.
And then everyone can have their, because I know like there's always these little flags that you have for your country, and then we can just be, all of us could be waving our own like country's flags, and then that also kind of, brings to the element that it's like global, they're different countries that are part of this,
add as much flair as you can. I have a slightly wacky dress sense, so I'm sure we can come up with something.
Okay.
So that brings us then into, if my computer starts working, that for this around the party, we will also do a few things online and socially, so that we're publicising this and using it as a proper event. So as we said, we'll have reminders of what the GAN stands for. So we're trying to do jobs for youth, employment, diversity challenges, skills for business, all this type of stuff. Reminding people worldwide. So taking all of the achievements we've had from all of the networks, and we're publishing this out again, saying, we have done these many things. We've changed legislation. We've updated various options. We've changed the way that people consider apprenticeships. We need to actually shout our own story quite a bit here, telling what our mission is, and then we wanted to go around and thank people. So if the NEF specifically has had people that you've worked with for quite a while and they've left and gone on to something else, it's also a time to actually thank them for their contribution.
Okay, that's good.
So it's because they've been part of the story that since you've been going, so why not raise them? Because people like seeing themselves, but also we're humble. We're not just the people here doing it right now have all the success. It's been built over a number of years.
Yes. Okay. So would you do that also for should we do it as networks, or should we send you like maybe the social handles of the people?
Okay. We could do both. It really depends as to the sort of resourcing and how comfortable you are with that. It takes me nicely onto something else I'll show you in a second. So we've got some materials to help with that, but this would be an option. And it's really, if we've got thousands, then obviously we would like the local groups to handle theirs a bit more. If we've only got a few, it's something we can put together from this end without too many problems. So the social handle, a photo if we've got it, and their name. And that would be the sort of thing we'd actually use it for. Yeah.
Okay.
So to give a bit more as to what we'd like to do with the party, we're very eco-friendly nowadays, so we don't want any plastic disposable straws, cups, crockery, all this sort of rubbish. We actually want it to be ecologically sound, our party. So for people that haven't thought of how to do it, we basically need to get a room. So if you've got one yourselves, then that's great. If not, one of your member companies, if they can offer something. It may just be a small office, it's only 2 of you, or you might do something bigger. The people coming to your party, if they can bring their food and drink as well, then there shouldn't be any cost of getting caterers in, because everybody's very happy to bring something to eat normally. And then getting your invites out as soon as possible, because of the date being the 5th of December, we're a bit short on time. As is always.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
For hosting it, we'd like actually physically with the people there, is like thanking people. So we've got the past and present members of your groups, your federation are there, so that it's keeping the GAN spirit alive with all these people, and hopefully re-engages them so they can go around and do something better for us. One of the key things is to collect how many people have actually participated in your local parties. So we've got a metric to show, we have touched this many people with this concept. So it's not just enjoying ourselves, we have them advocating again. Obviously connecting up your computer, so it's like a test that it's going to work.
Sorry to interrupt. I'm not sure I understand that collects participation numbers. So
say you've invited 20 people and 17 come, it's just to say that you've invited 20 people and you had 17 attendees. So we know that there are a group of people that in this location were involved in the launch of our campaign. And then we've got a way that we could try and engage with them again going forwards.
Oh, so this party is not just for us. We need to invite. I'm so sorry, I didn't get that. So we need to invite our members and appies and everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's the local GAN network. So you don't know who. You may get some people turning up. You may not. But it's also the past members of the federation, previous staff as well that have been involved with the GAN mission so far. So that it's a celebration of everything that's happened, the people that have been involved, but it's a way to sort of extend our reach with different people now, so that we can see if we can raise more excitement going forwards.
Okay, all right. So we really do need to send out these invites.
Yeah, they can go by email. They don't have to go by post or anything, but it's, yeah. Our basic statistic though of like we contacted 30 people and 12 turned up. It's good, because then at least we can show we are actually doing something, and it's a connected set of actions. It's not just, we're just going to have a party for the sake of a party.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But it's not too difficult. We don't need a massive registration system and name badges and stuff. No, just go for the simple. Short and simple. A number is fine.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you have any apprentices locally as well, sort of including them in the list of people who could come, because they can just give their current story and it's inspirational to other people.
Yeah, we've got plenty. We'll just have to. Yeah, the thing is just getting the invite out and finding from our members if they can send their apps, for that 1 hour. The 5th is a Wednesday.
Yes, it's that fantastic day of the week.
Okay, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. 12 days should be fine.
Just like 10 people here. That would be.
Yeah, because it's just for an hour, then and then towards the end of the day, for most people, it might be possible.
Yeah.
We just have to take what we can get, but as we've been pushing in the plan that this is what we've wanted for a while, and this date, then some people have been reaching out and engaging in their network already and push the date so that people are aware of it, and others are going, oh, it's the first we've heard of this, and that's very helpful, thank you. However, our birthday is one day of the year, so we can't do anything about that.
But I think we'll be able to get, even if it's not necessarily like our members, like the actual like HR managers or whatever, if they can send their appies, then that would be great, you know. And I'm sure they'd be open to that.
Exactly. Okay. Oops, computer stopped moving. Oh, wait. There we go. So we've got the hosting ideas and then participating. So it's part of what can be written in the invitation or told to people when they get there. It's like disconnect, actually take the time to celebrate and enjoy. It's like, because it's also a lot of these people come along to a meeting and they carry on looking at their email and checking phones and things all the time. So it's like, no, actually sort of be there, participate in it, have some fun. One thing we thought we could do then is also tweet from your different live parties with some photos that are being taken of people doing things, and it gives everybody a sense that it is happening and people are really engaged around the world. But what you do, how you do it is all up to you. Depending on the culture in some places, some people will just talk around and have little conversations. Other people and other groups will actually play games and do some slightly mad things and have a sing-along. And it's really down to how you run a party and how excited you want it to be.
Okay. We'll plan something.
Nothing is mandatory, as we do. You know, it's all the local flavour, but that's what we thought. So, yes. So we've come up with some materials to actually help. So what we have, when we were discussing this a second ago, if you see the middle one with Kathleen's photo on it, so it's just an example, but we have one Photoshop file with all of these designs in and the words ready done. We will have the words also translated into French and Spanish for the other areas that need them locally, but it just allows us basically to quickly change person's name, put a different photo on, and then you've got them ready to send out that way around. And they're all sized so that they will work on social media as well as being sent out by email. They're not going to be too large either. So it gives us, so for this one on the invite, obviously we can change the timing. For the online times, we can actually get those set up so they're ready and you can send them out. That wouldn't be a problem as well. I don't know what the addresses are for all the groups, but we can find those, and then at least that's our main office address, but it depends where you're going to be hosting it from as to whether you show the address or not.
Yes.
But it gives everybody a sort of standard way of doing things, and we can get the same sort of flow across the world, and everybody be very happy. And it's all got the same thing, even though it's connected to our birthday party.
I'm just thinking with Photoshop. I don't have Photoshop.
Okay.
I don't have, so that might be a bit difficult for me in terms of.
So in that case, if you can send us the names of the people, and even if we just do the names, we don't even put the photo on. If you send us the names of those that you'd like to thank, we can create them and send them back to you very quickly.
Okay, let me work on that then.
Yeah, that's the option. We've got a few people that can do this, so it's not complicated, but.
Okay, cool.
And you would send them out in English, or would you be sending them out in your local language, which I can never pronounce?
It's not that difficult. Oshi Herrero.
Quite.
Say it now. You have
Japanese
to say it.
Every time I hear it.
No, you have to say it. I'll teach you now.
Okay. Oshi
very simple. You say Oshi.
Oshi, yeah.
Herrero.
Herrero. Oh my goodness. Okay, Oshi Herrero, right?
And you can put it together. Oshi Herrero.
Okay. It's easy when you say it. because
Okay, no, but I'm thinking it would actually be more of a personal touch to put it in my language.
yes,
So
that's what I was going to suggest. Yeah.
yeah, so I'll send you the text and the names and pictures, everything.
And then we can go around and overlay that on the top. Yeah, that's not a problem. Yeah, because the more personal you can make it, then the more interest it gathers, and it shows that we are talking local, and we are different places. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So what I can do is I can send you the deck that we've got straight away after the call, and then you've got the words already written here, so it will make it easy for you as well.
Okay, great. Awesome.
No problem. Cool. So we've got some ideas, so we'll get some Oshi Herrero versions, which will be very exciting.
Oh, you said it! Oh my God!
I've been practicing. That'd be good. I'll start sending out all my tweets now like that.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
So then, to help out a little bit more, we thought, getting a few, if it might help, we've got some icebreaker games for people to start talking and doing things together. So that's one of the ones that I've used at some other events has been this one for sentences. So we've got some ideas of how to start it. So you go around and you have to write down your name on a piece of paper with this part of a sentence, and then finish it in some amusing way. And then you have to give it to the person next to you, and they have to read out what you've written.
That's a fun game.
Yeah, so it could be Bella thinks most people don't find Oshi Herrero a difficult language. Get the idea? Just learn something different, and it sort of gets people sort of laughing and amusing.
Yeah. Okay, that's a cool game.
And then, with a bit of sort of consistent thinking, rather than throwing the paper away, if you then keep it, then you can play another game, which is a physical one instead of just a mental speaking one. And this is by scrumpling up pieces of paper and having goes at throwing them into a basket to actually get people in teams or whatever the best of participating and stuff. So it's a fun way of doing it. Yes. So yeah, you have a couple of rounds of this, and you give winners get a prize, because the more people start eating and drinking and socializing, then the less accurate they get of doing this, and it just gets very funny.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. A couple of simple things, it might help, because sometimes people just arrive in a room and they don't talk to each other. So why not? Yeah. Okay. So that was the types of thinking we were having for our party so far. So with a quick list that we'd like, get your guest list organized, send out your invites, figure out where you're going, accept the invitation we'll send you so that we know you're going to be able to connect, and make sure your calendar's empty, so you've got the time and the effort to actually do your party.
Okay.
Sure. Our final things, we've got parts of your plan, so you're okay. But everybody, we're still needing plans. We're still needing to share these around to each other so that we can make connections where people are doing similar things. We can regroup our effort. We can collaborate a bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So there's a critical thing about our plan.
Oh yes, tell us.
And I hope I'm not getting in trouble because of this. But we just got next year's schedule. Our government has changed a lot in our education system. So they're also changing the dates of schools, the holidays and everything.
Right.
And we just discovered that week that we had agreed to, which was the 26th of August, schools are closed that week.
Well, that's going to make a fair change then, isn't it? Yeah, so let's see where the dates are that we've got. There we go.
Yes, and there's also a new holiday. There's a holiday that I think that Monday or something. There's a holiday on it.
Okay.
So we were thinking that we would actually like to change it to September, the beginning of September.
Yeah. Okay, that shouldn't be a problem.
Would that be okay?
Yeah. Okay. So have you got the actual date, or could you? Are they closed in July as well, or is it just in August you're closed?
the 2nd of September.
Okay.
The week of the 2nd.
Yeah, that's not a problem at all. And we can do that. We will update. No, it's just moving it. Yeah, these things happen, and this is why we try to align. And the more information we can share with each other, the better. So yeah, okay. So I will take a note of that. It's the 2nd of September.
Okay, awesome.
Would that be too early if the schools have just gone back?
Pardon?
Would that be too early if the schools have just gone back to being in school? Because when people have got the school holidays here, some countries are 6 weeks, others it's 8 around where I am at the moment. Having a sort of event when people are trying to organise their timetable and get their classes working.
No. Oh no, not in that case. Because actually, the 26th of August is the last week before the schools open again, or something like that. So it's a very short holiday, but it is a holiday. So we kind of just had to make, changes because of that. Yeah.
Okay. And for the 2 events that you're having in Windhoek and the other place, I can't remember where it's called. You were doing your career fair type things. Yeah. Do they fit with the dates still as well?
Well, we've planned it around those dates.
Perfect. Okay. So as long as they're not moved as well, then most of your plan is still intact. It's not a problem. Okay.
Yeah. Because in terms of like the careers, because those events are just events where we're going to be talking to our members and potential members, and but in terms of like the careers day and stuff like that is unfortunately something that we can't, because that's around June or something. Yeah. So
okay. That's fine. As long as it wasn't impacted because of the other change, then there you go. That's fine. Just so we're aligned. Okay. Yeah. So there's no problem for the network week. We can move that. That's But if you wanted it a bit later, that's also a possibility. So yeah.
Okay. No, that's good. I'm so relieved that's okay.
Yeah. There's no problem at all. Okay. Cool.
Okay, so now we're just planning towards the birthday, right?
Yep, exactly. So we're full scale ahead of organising that, and just enjoying our party before you wrap up and we get the video competition soft launched on the 17th of December. So there'll be some video, I'm not quite sure what we're going to put out yet. It might actually be a video about the video competition. Was the original thinking, to show people how to take a video, what it's for, and the type of thing they could talk about. And then that will be pushed out again.
We could do that. Maybe the networks, we could all just record something.
We could do. We were wondering if we just produce it from the secretariat, but if the networks wanted to participate as well, that might be something. It might be a good way of doing that. I like that idea, actually. It shows the different networks, because you could also explain it in your local language as well. Yeah. So we can have a group of them, and then we can put them all together, or publish multiples of them around the same time, so that people are able to see, we're doing a competition, it's available here, and this is what you should be saying, so that we can all select our best apprentices.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Yeah. Really kind of on behalf of the networks, like me that won't be around, and it will still be something that's like a contribution.
So for that one, we're looking for the shortest. There's like a short amount of time that that the video is there for. So it's like a maximum of a minute, preferably 30 seconds in duration. From my memory, when you did the video previously to sort of introduce when we were doing the launch video or the GAN video, what you were saying, I don't know as to whether I'm going to try again. Ohiharo is a slow language or a fast language, but it just seems to take a long time. That way.
It's quite slow. I'm not sure it will fit in the seconds, but maybe I could always just do it in English in any case. So
because it was just because if we're trying to encourage people to actually see if they're used to it, the language does go slowly, then there's a possibility most people will look at it and actually watch it to the end because of what they're trying to find out. But losing somebody halfway through because it takes a long time is a worry. But a video in Spanish also takes twice as long to actually say it than it does in English. So.
But an idea is we could always just do the greeting in our language, and then just English the rest of the way. You know?
Exactly. But it's something very simple. It's like, this competition's happening. We'd like stories about apprentices, that people looking for apprenticeships, so parents, school leavers, people doing apprenticeships now, why they're good, and people that have done apprenticeships previously, what it really gave to them and the community and how they've actually moved on in their career. So it's a simple thing, but it says, go to this website and send your video. We will try and work out on some wording then that the key things to actually say, so that we've got a bit more like a script that people are ready for, so it's a bit more consistent. But obviously this is the talking points, and then people can add their own flair to it as they need for local conditions.
Okay. All right. Sounds like a plan.
No, it does sound like a very good plan. So I think Costa Rica did a good one. I'm sure Belgium will do a good one as well, which they could possibly use with France too. Costa Rica we could then use for the Spanish groups if they're not there. Yours was very good like you did last time, so I'm happy with that. I'm sure that Kenya and Tanzania and Malawi might just borrow it. But it's that type of things, like what is it that we can do that's not going to cause trouble, and it's just simple. Super. Okay, so have you got any other questions for us? Is there anything unclear about the party?
No, everything's all clear. Happy. Just now it's just to send it out as soon as possible.
Yes, exactly. That's the only problem now. Now we have to do something. Right. It's a party. If we focus on a party, they're not complicated. You just send it out. People will come, people might not. Don't stress. It's coming to the end of the year. Nobody wants to stress. We just want to relax. And so a party, people are happy with that.
It should all just be fun and
exactly. Yeah. You get so much more done when it's fun and people are engaged rather than forced into a boring meeting that they have to come and do. But
exactly.
Cool.
All right.
Okay. So as soon as you can get me your stuff, then we can work on that and get it sent back to you, and then you've got something to play with.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks,
Niall. Have a good afternoon. Ciao, ciao.
All right. Ciao.